never judge a book by its cover. That's what I want to say first, because when the Cienjo came out, when I played through the Cienjo in Star Rail, it was hell. It was probably the worst piece, like worst story that I've ever experienced. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea, what the main goal was, apart from, like beating a tree or something. And then with how Fantalia turned out, I mean, they had a good plot line with Dan Shu over there, but they ruined it. So, like, everything about the CNJ was just, what was here and there. It was very convoluted and or spread out, however you want to call it, but it was incoherent. So, I was skeptical when 2.0 was revealed, when the Penacony arc, like, when they announced that, we're going to Penacony now, the land of the dreams and all. So I was very skeptical. And 3 patches later, I can say that, I'm very much interested in Star Rail story again. Like, it's completely changed my perspective. Now, I'm not gonna be a simp for the story. Like, I'm not gonna call it like it's the best story that's ever been written or something like that. It's not that, but it's a good comeback. It's a very, very good comeback. And this video is like, pertaining only to Star Rail. So I'm not gonna compare the story to, like, Genshin stories or Fate stories or Arknight stories or any other gacha game stories. Comparing it with Star Rail's own stories, Yarilo 6 was pretty amazing. Herta Space Station was obviously, the prologue part, so it was good enough to get people interested in the game. Yarilo 6 is what, made people stay with, Bronya, Zile, the whole Cocolia arc and all. That boss fight was also epic with Cocolia. Then came the Cienjo, a mess basically, but when Penacony came, first I want to say, the land was amazing, the maps were amazing. It was huge, like for Star Rail standards. It was huge. It was like, it had depth in them. It had various, puzzle mechanics, the bird watch view, and then the TikTok puzzles and all, the pinball machines, and the sky was gorgeous. Like, if you just looked at the sky in Penacony, like, go to Golden Hour or go to, the rooftops and just look at the sky. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. The architecture that they chose, the theme, it was all very magnificent. And coming to the story is also very great. However, getting the bad things out first before I praise the hell out of it. The bad things that I felt was that, the POV structure that they implemented in 2.1 and all, I feel that it worked to some extent, but it was a nice way to, like, add more characters into the story. Like, it's a nice way of storytelling where you have different POVs. Like, I've read different storybooks. The one that comes to my mind most recently is, like, I think it's Percy Jackson, not the House of Hades, the Heroes of Olympus series, where, each character had POVs and the story was progressing, and all those characters' arcs were also progressing, and it was a coherent story. So I think Star Rail wanted to use that, which it did to some extent. Like, it did very well, with Aventurine's arc. We got plenty of detail on Aventurine, Acheron's arc. With 2.2, we got Robin, we got Boothill. So it's a step forward in the right direction. However, I still feel that some parts could be blended more quickly, or there should be more consistency or coherency between these POVs, because they're in the same place, and sometimes the references don't stick. I don't know, that's just me though. Like, sometimes I was very, very confused with the POV parts, especially with the Aventurine stuff, because, in 2.1 at the end we saw Acheron slashing the hell out of his preservation gimmick and all, and he was there in the Nihility space, black hole space, and he said goodbye to his younger self and all. But after that, I had no idea what happened to Aventurine, and in 2.2 he just pops up out of nowhere. So yeah, that was a major problem. Like, I would have liked it if we had some information on Aventurine in this patch as well. Like, if he got out, how did he get out, who saved him. Like, it was just a passing dialogue from Jade in the post-credit scene that, a Knight of Beauty saved him. Yeah, now we don't even know which Knight of Beauty saved him, because, according to Argenti, there are probably 8 or 9 Knight of Beauties currently active, and it could be Argenti, it couldn't be Argenti, so I have no idea. So, they played a little too much into the mysteriousness, and this is also one of the problems that I thought about the story, was that the flowery language, the metaphors, the riddles, the talk in all riddles, and then say it again and again, simplifying things in the 4th or 5th sentence and all. I mean, it was too much. Now I know some people love this sort of stuff, but personally I don't. I like stories where you get to the point. You have to add flowery language, I get that, but this isn't a novel. Like, in a novel, if you add adjectives, adverbs on how the character is doing something, or if they're talking in riddles and all, that makes sense, because in books you have to increase the length, and when you're reading you have your own pace. But in gameplay, and this is one of the major problems I feel with Arknights as well. So the very flowery language, and with Arknights at least you have you have to read, and it's a visual novel-esque format, so it totally depends on you. With Star Rail, it's voiced dialogues. You want to listen to the voiced dialogues, but then it just gets repetitive. The Paimon situation in Genshin, where she just keeps repeating on the same thing over and over again. I felt that was one of the problems in Star Rail as well. They just kept on repeating the same thing over and over again. Ina's order this, Ina's order that, she pay the harmony this, she pay the harmony that. I mean, we already know who is who. Okay, so you don't have to tell me in every POV from every character that this guy is this guy, this guy is this guy, he controls this, he controls that, she controls this, something the other thing. It was insane. Very few characters got to the point immediately, and Boothill was a Chad guy, because he got to the point immediately, and that's why I like him. But overall, I would really appreciate if Star Rail team went on and made dialogue a little to the point. You can add those flowery stuff, but just stick to the point. Don't make it more mysterious than it has to be. If you want to add mystery, do it in the respective mission when you're going to lead up to it. We have some peer point drama as told in the story, and the peer point drama, I have no idea what peer point is, for first of all. I think it's some place where Silverwolf and Kafka also went. So I think, I have no memory of it, I have no recollection, but I think it's some place. And apparently Sunday is also going there, and Aventurine and Jade are also going there, and something, and then it's just too much. When peer point is coming close, then remind me of it, then tell me of it. You're telling me now and you're expecting me to remember it 3 patches down the line. I probably won't, and then I'll be confused over there as well. So with stories like this, when you're dividing the story between patches, you need to have one whole story centered on it, and then the side plot lines, you don't have to leave it mysterious. You have to give it some sort of ending. You don't have to leave it open-ended. It just ruins the fun, and it leaves plot holes. It leaves not plot holes, but it leaves open-endedness, and which honestly for a story, I don't know. Whatever, it still has the to be continued, so they're safe for now. Now, that was one of the few problems that I had, but coming to the good parts, POV was actually very good for the story. I already criticized it, but I'm also saying that it's a good part. It's a good part because it helped enhance the story. It helped see multiple point of views. We got an insight into multiple characters, and it was what should I say? it is enhanced the story experience. Not gonna lie, it really enhanced the story experience, and the fact that we got to play as certain characters was also amazing. Like with the Aventurine POV, we got to play as Aventurine. Acheron, we had Acheron. Boothill, we had Boothill. Robin, we had Robin. So you get the point. And I really hope they continue with this story, because with this trend, with this POV structure, because in future stories I feel like they can expand more upon this. They can have more characters interacting with the main story. They don't have to suffer the Genshin problem like Genshin has right now. While they have amazing stories, I don't. My attachment for Fontaine's story arc is less than Sumeru, simply because of the fact that majority of the Fontaine cast were just there. Like they didn't play a major role to the end of the Fontaine arc. Like in Sumeru, you saw everybody connecting with their Akasha, Nilu, Alhedam, Kave, Sino, not Kave, but Sino and Dia, and everybody just connected with their Akasha. They were helping. So that sort of thing that was there, every person played a role. In Fontaine, I felt that was lacking, and that's one of the good parts in Penacony, because it actually reminded me of the Sumeru story arc, where every character had a role. Now some characters' roles are very ambiguous and are still left open-ended, Sparkle, because we have no idea what she did with the buttons. Like she gave out buttons while she was disguised as Robin. And if my memory serves me correct, that button meant that if you click that button, if you tap that button during the Charmony festival, Penacony is going to blow up. That didn't happen. Black Swan still talks in riddles. I have no idea what the hell Ratio was doing. I have no idea what Ratio was doing on the Herta space station. I still have no idea what he's doing over here. So, Ratio is Ratio. I have no idea what the hell that guy is doing. But still, overall the story, apart from the flowery language and stuff, the structure was actually pretty good. This part, in the last part, it was heavily dialogue heavy, insanely dialogue heavy. So in this part I was glad that we had some sort of mini games as well, with the part where we were with Firefly and we had to fight hordes of enemies to reach the Night of Beauty, Argenti. We had those fight sequences, we had a game sequence. The Dream Flux Reef was actually pretty cool, because it gave a view of what slums in Penacony would look like. It's the deepest part of Penacony, and rarely anybody goes there, and they're obviously brought over there. So there's that. The story of Misha was actually very, very good and very well done, because it was actually if you paid attention to the story, you probably would have guessed something about it. And if you'd read on the internet, many people had theorized it earlier as well, that Misha will play somebody important, because you just saw him in the first few minutes of Penacony and then he was absent. He was completely absent. So it's nice that they brought him back and they gave him this amazing lore. I still have no idea why he is a 4-star. Yangqing should be dropped down to a 4-star and give Misha his 5-star status, but yeah. So Misha's lore was amazing. The fact that old trailblazers from Penacony were incorporated in the story, amazing history with them. Rosalina, Tiernan, Razalina, and Tiernan, and then Mikhail. It was truly amazing. The story for them was pretty amazing. And Acheron's story as well, Acheron's name reveal, Raiden B. May, they did the Peter B. Parker from Into the Spider-Verse. Peter B. Parker, meet Raiden B. May. But it's nice that we got a confirmation on a true name, and it confirmed many thoughts, and Honkai Impact fans would be all over the moon. I only played up till chapter 4 of Honkai Impact, so I don't have that much connection with May, but I've seen people really obsessing over her and her relationship with Kiana, so I'm hoping we're gonna get a Kiana character in Star Rail soon. Although after playing the Penacony arc, I had a theory that maybe March is our Kiana, but I have no idea. It could be, it could not be. So anyways, apart from that, we had the first Sunday boss fight. The boss fights were done really amazing. The first Sunday boss fight actually felt anticlimactic when it happened, and I was like, wait, that's it? And when Dan Hung and Jing Yuan came, and I was like, oh wait a second. And then when you woke up back in reality, I was like, this has to be a dream. This has to be a dream because everything is going too smoothly. I mean, the IPC allowed Penacony to work automatically. Topaz was very happy. Eventually showed up out of nowhere. Ratio wasn't mad at us. That's a big red flag. How the hell is Ratio not mad at anybody? He's always mad. So there were red flags everywhere. So that I just immediately realized that this was a dream. That we were still in a dream, and how they had that Black Swan light cone memory stuff and it was very interesting. The story part of it connected really well to what was happening. And when you think about it, you were always in a dream. If you think about it, you were always in a dream from 2.0. The entire Penacony arc was a whole dream. At least I felt that way, because you saw Misha, you saw those guys, so I felt like the moment you stepped on Penacony, you were in that dream. So it was quite amazing. The story was absolutely mind-blowing. It was kind of like Star Rail's Inception, and in the dream within a dream, the Inception. So that was pretty amazing. Apart from that, coming to the more focused part, the Sunday boss fight, the proper boss fight. It led up with Acheron's true name reveal. Then we had that epic cutscene, and then we got the boss fight with Stell Harmony, Trailblazer Harmony. Harmony Trailblazer is insane, man. It was absolutely epic. The boss fight was insanely good. It gave me vibes of the Cocolia boss fight. I had no feeling for Fantalia. I had no idea what the hell I was doing there, and I honestly didn't feel any emotion for it. But this one, I actually had tears, tears of joy, tears of excitement, because when I fought him, the first time that I fought Sunday, I had a Lynx, Acheron, Robin, and Trailblazer Harmony in my team, and I was like, I'm just going to use my favorite because story boss shouldn't be that hard. But that boss obliterated me somehow. It didn't work. I know my team sucks. So I was just wanting to play with my favorite. So next time I went in with Trailblazer Harmony, Himeko, Acheron, and Lynx. I just switched out Robin for Himeko because the boss had a fire weakness, and it was going well. It was going really well. And when the boss one-shotted me, the cutscene happened where Robin appeared. Robin started singing. You had that Astral Express move, when you use Astral Express, it just rams the entire train into the Sunday statue, and it's so epic with those voice lines as well. Every person from the crew is saying something to bring Sunday back to reality, bring Sunday back to his noble self. Everybody knows that Sunday, deep down, he is a good person, but he's been so disillusioned by his ambitions that it's just tough. And the entire boss fight was so epic, with Robin singing in the background, and it was just a marvelous boss fight with the ending cutscene as well. Sunday falling, and then he asks, before falling, he asked the Trailblazer, why does life slumber? And not gonna lie, I said it with the Trailblazer, so you can wake up. I just said it before the Trailblazer said, I said that, to wake up. Why does life slumber? So that you can wake up. And Stell said something similar, what she said was probably to wake up from the dream or something. And it was it was so amazing because it was so heart touching. It felt like for the first time since I began this game, I felt connected to the characters and the story. And that was pretty epic, not gonna lie. Because ever since this game began, I've always been skeptical, and I just played it for fun, for the time being and all. But the story actually made me feel for every character, and it was truly mind blowing. With Robin also catching Sunday while he was falling, that was also a nice touch. And then we had the to be continued after that. But still, these characters were absolutely amazing. I'm glad that we got a Robin POV over here. I'm still bitter about how, Sparkle was very underused. Like, she was used in 2.0, 2.1, but after that, we have no idea what Sparkle is up to. Like, what was the role of coming to Penacony if she just gave out the buttons, which apparently did nothing? So I hope we explore that side of the story in the future. I hope we explore more of Acheron's past, like, where she has been. I would like to explore, what should I say, Robin. Like, I feel like we could have more insight on her. Honestly, Robin reminds me of Barbara so much. And I love Barbara, so I love Robin. Robin is amazing. I love her. And her songs are actually pretty amazing. So, I mean, that's my thoughts on this Penacony arc. It was mind blowing. Can't wait for more. Like, we have the problems with the Xianzhou where Xianzhou ended with the Jing Liu and Locha cut scene, and that didn't go anywhere. It just went to a companionship quest that nobody gave an F about. At least in this part, it was all connected, it was all coherent, and that felt really, really amazing. But Penacony is over. It's kind of a sad feeling, but it's also kind of a hopeful feeling because what the next journey would be. And honestly, I have no idea when they'll introduce the next planet, because if they're going by the 1 year structure that Genshin follows, then the next planet would probably be out by next January next year. So this year is going to be an entirety of Penacony. So we'll see. I've heard that maybe they're going back to the Xianzhou. I swear to God, I hope they don't. Just please don't go back there. We left it. Let it be there. Let it be there, please. Oh boy. But oh well. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, this story was absolutely epic, mind blowing, and I can't wait to see what happens next. But those are my thoughts for now. I mean, if I had to give a review, if I had to give a score on the Penacony story, I would probably give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Cutting the 1.5 number because too much language, too much dialogues. Like, it was so much, and it was getting boring at some point, especially when the pauses that these the voice actors were amazing. They were amazing, but with how the voice actors were directed, they were adding too many pauses between words, and it just elongated the entire scene unnecessarily. Added with the fact that it was so much flowery language. I mean, I love Black Swan, not gonna lie, but listen to Black Swan. She talks so slowly. I mean, she talks so slowly. I've been speaking for 23 minutes straight, and I sure as hell know that if she were to repeat my words right now, she's gonna take an hour or more with the speed that she speaks with. So it's insane. I mean, yeah, I hope that characters would start focusing on getting to the point immediately and just speaking whatever is on their mind. Don't riddle with us. Don't tease us, please. But apart from that, and a little bit of confusion with the adventuring stuff and the unused sparkle, unused ratio, those kind of things. Still, an overall a very, very good story. It was absolutely amazing, mind-blowing, and I really love that the music was back for the boss fight. Yeah, suck it, Xianzhou. Penacony rules. But yeah, that's it for now. I'm just gonna say, hope you enjoyed the story. What were your thoughts on it? What did you like? What did you not like? Let me know. And till then, have a great day. Goodbye.